Session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, our respected delegates from all the oppressed, occupied nations living under the military, feudals and bureaucratic hegemony of Pakistan since 1947 and 1948. Fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Jamil Maqsood. I hail from Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir, stationed in Brussels for 22 years and currently living in exile as I was blacklisted by the ISI Brussels office in 2017. My petition is still pending since September 2019, and the local judge at Islamabad High Court do not show his courage to ask those who practice their authority beyond law. According to international law, they cannot do that. But in case of Pakistan, who cares? Do they care for the law or the constitution? Of course not. This is something very personal. It's torment, physical, emotional, mental. But we know what we are doing. We are doing with commitment and dedication, not for personal things, but for the entire region and particularly for our nation. Because we truly believe on equality, on democracy for all the people. I would like to present few points for the benefit of all our panelists and fellows in this hall today. The state of Jammu Kashmir came into being on 16th of March 1846 and existed until 22nd of October 1947. Then Pakistan was created under partition of India plan. Most of our learned panelists and participants are well aware about that. Why Pakistan was created? Pakistan was created to safeguard imperialist design in South Asia, to counter USSR, and later on Pakistan successfully accomplished their task and fulfilled its responsibility to be a slave of their masters. Like the Jammu Kashmir was attacked, it was a smaller state. It had a very small army, and most of the army personnel were Muslims, and they were told that we are creating an Islamic state for you. So instead of having your own country, you should join this monster. And the people were trapped. They thought that Pakistan will be a democratic country, will be a peaceful country, and it will give them their fundamental human rights and right to development. But that did not happen. The case went into the United Nations Security Council, and the UN Security Council asked Pakistan to kindly withdraw your forces and civilians who entered into Jammu Kashmir for the purpose of war. That did not happen. The case into UN Security Council was the question of Jammu and Kashmir. But the then Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Zafrullah Khan, who was lately declared as a non-Muslim, Qadiani, he prayed in front of the UN Security Council that the question of Jammu and Kashmir should be changed into India-Pakistan question. That was the dagger into the backs of our state, our people, our wishes, our aspirations. That was the deception of Pakistani state and policymakers in 1948. Instead of implementing or complying with the UN Security Council resolutions, Pakistan started covert operations to occupy Jammu and Kashmir. The first operation launched, it was Operation Gulmarg. Gulmarg is a very beautiful tourist resort under the Indian administration nowadays. They failed, and during that operation, the attackers, which were led by the Pakistani military, indiscriminately killed people in Muzaffarabad, in Uri, in other areas on their way, on their military expedition to capture Srinagar. Master Abdulaziz, a renowned political activist in Muzaffarabad, was brutally killed. Maqbool Sherwani, another political leader, was butchered mercilessly. And when the Indian Army entered into Jammu Kashmir under the pretext of Treaty of Accession on 26th of October, all those attackers and their facilitators, Pakistani military generals, they start running back until Britain intervened and persuaded Government of India to come into the UN Security Council. That we will look after this case now, since they were the colonial masters. After that, Pakistan jumped into Sito-Sento and Baghdad Pact to prove its loyalty with Anglo-American bloc against Soviet Union. Our fundamental right was compromised, was denied. And since then, the areas that fell under the occupation of Pakistan, which are commonly known as Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, were put behind an iron curtain. From 1947 until 1970s, we had no constitution, we had no rules of business. It was all on the mercy of how the prime ministers were being appointed by the governor generals of Pakistan. They were appointing the presidents. And the single political party, Al Jammu and Kashmir Muslim Conference, was their local collaborator and political facilitator. And in case of Gilgit-Baltistan, the law, the rule that was imposed on those areas is known as FCR, Frontier Crimes Regulations. That was the law orchestrated or designed by the British to control tribal areas or the areas which were segregated from Afghanistan. And they are known as tribal agencies. There are 7 tribal agencies. And that law was implemented on those people. And today, the situation is, as Mr. Chairman Nasir Aziz Khan said, that we were holding a peaceful conference to discuss about the current political status of both regions under Pakistani control, we were denied to hold such a conference. And Inter-Services Intelligence, which is expert in political engineering in Pakistan, and beyond the region, in Afghanistan, in other areas, more or less, most of our people are well aware about their interventions through covert or overt operations. They try to sabotage our peaceful conference, but our committed leadership on the ground make it successful. Our party leaders were asked that Manzoor Pashtun should not be allowed to speak, or anyone from Gilgit-Baltistan should not be invited or given floor to express their views. It is their policy to silence the people who do not subscribe to nation theory or the idea that sovereignty belongs to the people. Because they are using religion as a weapon by surrendering their sovereignty to the God. All the philosophers, political scientists, social scientists are well aware that God has nothing to do with the sovereignty. Why God needs the sovereignty over Pakistan? There are 54 Muslim majority states. No one else designed such a law, such a constitution, that they surrender their sovereignty to the God. Why in Pakistan? Because the perspective was to use religion as a weapon to press human rights, to press voices of the people. Because why do people stand for freedom? Why do people ask for their countries? Why do people want to take the control of their natural resources? So they were all pressed in the name of God. In 21st century, we are colonized. Our resources, our voices, our people, our aspirations, our wishes, everything is colonized. But it is important to repeat our demands, our views again and again, so that until you are not going to stop your exploitative policies, we shall not stop. We are unstoppable because we represent a nation. We represent a distinct culture, language, history, and traditions. And we are not ready to surrender in the name of religion or in the name of God. You are not, or God does not awarded you the right, like if someone publish a book, it is written that right of publishers are publishing these books is reserved with the publishers. You are not a holy nation. Our Punjab is not a holy nation. Our Punjabi is not a holy nation. It is the cultures, traditions, and it is the people. And dear friends, on 21st of June, a 3-year-old child was kidnapped from a red zone of Islamabad. And unfortunately, that little boy belongs to my native place, Islam Zubair. His father went to each and every office, every police station, everywhere. But nobody was ready to listen to the cries of that poor man, because he was not a relative of any general, any bureaucrat, any feudal lord, or any capitalist, he is an ordinary man. So, after searching 1 month, finally a writ petition was filed at Islamabad High Court on 22nd of July this year. And still, police is unable to recover that little boy who is even not speaking according to his parents. Another case in 2006, a little boy of 5 years old was kidnapped from Rawalpindi, and he was the son of a civil judge, who is currently additional judge in Pakistani administrative Kashmir. We call it technically, but it is occupied. And we fear that, according to reports, according to UNICEF reports and according to many other NGOs reports, every day 100 children are missing from Pakistan. And where those children are going? We fear that those children are brought up and used as child soldiers in their wars in Afghanistan or in Kashmir or elsewhere in the world. They kidnap those little boys and use them as a gun fodder. And we think that, and we are very much aware that ISI and their other secret agencies are doing this job. From this podium, I would request every one of you to raise your voice from your respective organizations, NGOs, in your personal capacity, against such a grim situation which our people, our children are facing under the occupation of Pakistan. Pakistan is also changing demography by issuing state subject certificates to Punjabis and to other people who migrated from Afghanistan due to war or in the disguise of Afghan Pashtun refugees. Many from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are also moving there. They have occupied big businesses and now they are trying to acquire lands in a disputed region. We fear that if our demography will be changed, our people who are already marginalized in all walks of life, political, social, cultural, economical, constitutional, democratic, we will be crushed completely. So it is a matter of urgent attention for the international community and for our partner friends, allies, to remember us when you hold any meeting with anybody at international forum. Another thing which I want to bring into your notice, that Pakistan was going to introduce a 15th constitutional amendment to dismantle the current disputed nature of our region, which is so-called Azad Jammu and Kashmir. And then people revolted. They staged protests in the whole region by condemning this policy. For the moment, they stopped it, but we fear that the current Prime Minister, who is a capitalist, working with the collaboration of Saudi Al-Tamimi company, which is a very well-known company, providing catering and other services to the American soldiers in the United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So Pak Gulf Company is established in Islamabad, and that company is acting as a facilitator and collaborator to the military establishment. So our valleys, our rivers, our resources which are already under their control through a very controversial Act 1974 will be more controlled, will be occupied completely. And Pakistan, as Mr. Nasser Aziz Khan said, claiming internationally that we are supporting right of self-determination to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, has failed to give or to recognize this very same right of the people of so-called Azad Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan. So, my dear friends, there were also some other points which I would left for our central chairman so that he would give more details. These were some few points that were required urgent attention of everybody. I thank you very much.